Hi, my name is Sharon, and this is my first post on nail tech etiquette. It's a channel that I just, started. I have a lot to share from my experiences in being in nail tech over a decade. And if you look at my bio, it says that we're sharing experiences and wisdom from the good book, the Bible. And what I'll be talking to you about today is starting your own nail business. What is stopping you from starting your nail business? Um, I think before we start, we'll look at the book of wisdom, Proverbs 26, verse 13. It's very funny. It says, "The slothful man saith, there's a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets." I wrote in here excuses. And then there's 22 verse 13, practically saying the same thing. The slothful man said, there is a lion without. Without means outside. There's a lion outside. I shall be slain in the streets. So you listen to the two excuses. There's a lion in the streets. There's a lion in the streets. What exactly is the lion in your street? What is that excuse that is stopping you from starting your own little business? What are these lions? I need to get your notepad, get your pen, and write a list of what the lions in your street are. So, is it money? Oh, this economy, Tinubu's economy. Is it money for, okay, education? Yes. It also boils down to money. Education, products, um, rent or space, clients. That's another one. How will I get the clients? Who's going to believe in me? How long will it take me to train? Where am I going to start? I really like nails. Oh God. These are all the lions in the streets, and that's why you're saying you can't go outside, right? Okay. I'm going to share a little bit of my own personal story, how I started my nail business with two bottles of nail polish, just two bottles. So when I gained admission into the university, I had packed my bags and everything, ready to go make the journey and get to school. Part of the things that I had packed was two bottles of nail polish that my mom gave to me. So as a young lady before she got married, she used to wear the most beautiful nails. I mean, when I looked through her pictures, I was like, wow. She even had a picture where she was applying the two nail polish by herself, fingernails polish. I don't know how she did it, but her nails were always on point in all her pictures. And I was like, maybe that's what sparked my own interest. I don't know, or maybe it was in it. I don't know, but I really, really loved to do my nails. When I was still in high school, I would save my transport fare and buy a bottle of clear nail polish and apply on my natural nails. I'll file my nails and apply because I liked my nails looking nice. She would see it and she'll make me scrape it off. Sometimes she'll beat me. You're still in school. You're not allowed to do that. When you finish school, one day after your graduation, you can do whatever you like. So I waited patiently till I wrote my last paper. The day I wrote my last paper, I hurried home as fast as my legs could carry me, changed my clothes, took my bath, changed my clothes, rushed straight to where? The nail salon. That's the first place I went to. I didn't even go through, oh, what was the exam I wrote today? Did I do very well in the exam? What were the questions? After I dropped my bag and took my bath, I headed straight for the local nail salon in my area, and immediately I got my nails and my toenails polished. After all, I finished from school, I'm allowed. So I felt so fulfilled. It was one of the happiest days of my life. Like, finally. I would change my polish, 3 times a week. Yes. I was her number one client. I would change my nail polish. Whether I was chipped or not, I would get bored with the color and then go and change it. So I was fascinated with nails, really. So fast forward to when I was now in uni. So one of the things she gave to me were 2 bottles of nail polish and a file. So when I got to school, after all the registration and I'd been allotted my hostel accommodation, I was unpacking my bags and I just thought, me, I like to have my own money. When I was still in school, I would rather trek and save my transport fare and just let me just be seeing my money. I like to have my own money. And I decided, okay, what can I do to make money? That was first thing that came to my head. I wasn't even thinking of how I was going to graduate. How do I make money? Because I don't want to depend on what I'm getting from home. I don't like hearing wait, I don't have the money now. I hate that thing. So I was like, I need to have my money. So I went on my knees and I said a very short prayer. Oh, Jesus, what can I do? Help me to make money. And I got up and started unpacking my bags. And I unpacked up to the point where I found the 2 nail polishes. And I said, wait, my mom used to make me do her pedicure at home and apply the clay polish. Can't I do these things for students? Say, I can do it now. Well, nails, I don't know how to do nails. Nails. I used to see the local people do nails and I didn't really like how they used to do nails in the markets. I was like, okay, but I can shape brows very well. I shape my own brows, I shape my mom's brows. I beg. I carried my small purse and took a cab off campus. People were shopping for things they would need in their room and everything. I went straight to the main market and I went to look for someone who was doing nails in the market. And I came across this crippled lady. She had no feet. She had the baby strapped to her back. Light skinned, beautiful lady, but she was crippled. And she sat in a very small kiosk and there was this long queue of people waiting to do their nails. I said, what? This crippled lady, she has a baby on her back, she's doing nails. Okay, so what exactly is my own excuse? I will see how this woman is doing the nails. If I can sit down and watch the way she's doing the nails, then maybe I'll be able to apply that in school. So I joined the queue as though I wanted to do my nails and I watched her. You know, the crude way of doing nails they used to do back then. I watched her and I did a mental note of all the things she was using. So there was a super glue. Yeah, we were using super glue then. Super glue, the nail tips, the acetone. Well, it was called dissolver back then. Can you see how much things have changed? Then I didn't even know the names of these things. I just knew the local names. So the dissolver, and I was actually in a very small plastic container with a blue cover. So I did a mental note of that. On the file, the nail file, and nail polish. That was practically everything, and the buffer. So I went straight to look for the woman that had the biggest shop selling nail. I walked around the market and I found this woman, and I started buying the things that I saw her use. I got one of each. By the time I was done shopping, I only had little money left to take me back to school and to make photocopies. So I went to the business center and I printed shape your brows and do your nails at room A4. So I did that and made lots of photocopies. At this point, I had nothing left in my pocket. I mean, 0 naira. Nothing. How was I even going to feed? I don't know. So with my back against the wall, I went back to my hostel and I pasted it on the notice board. There's a notice board just as you're entering the hall. So I pasted it there No clients the first day. The second day, someone had removed it. I put another one. By evening, someone had removed it. I put two more. So I had made lots of photocopies. So I kept putting it back. Whenever it's removed, I kept pasting it back. And then someone came to my room and said, "Oh, is this where they shake brows and make them?" Oh, yeah, yeah. And then I had my first client. Her name is Lola. I still remember till today. So Lola said she wanted to fix her nails, stick-ons, of course, and do her toenails. Same thing. So we started. I could replay in my mind, in my head, everything I saw the crippled lady do. So I did exactly the same. One thing I did though, okay, for nail technicians listening to me, you understand what I mean. But for people who are just joining, you may not understand. So when they apply the stick-ons here, they take the acetone and try to feather it around the cuticle, like blend it in around the cuticle. So they use the acetone to dissolve this part, right? This part, so that it flushes against your cuticle. But what that does is that it dissolves the plastic, okay, and makes that place weak. I didn't know. It was my first experience ever. I'd never done anybody's nails. So I did the same thing. I took some of the cotton wool. Yeah, I bought cotton wool too. And I did that cuticle. Did the cuticle. It looked nice. I shaped it square and it looked nice. I was impressed with what I did. But then she went for her lectures. By evening, I think 6 of the nails had pulled out. And because we're all students, nobody is going to really like call you out or insult you. Oh, my nails have come up. Oh, I'm so sorry. You see that? And I did it again. But this time I learned from my mistakes. I saw that I had applied too much and probably dissolved too much, and it weakens the plastic. So that was where it broke from. So I started learning from my mistakes. The second one was better, the third one was way better, and I kept getting better and better at the nonsense that I was doing, because then I had no training whatsoever. But there was something I kept doing. I would learn from my mistake and improve on it, and I would always go to the library where we had hundreds of computers. I would buy this airtime thing because I was already making money from doing it. So I didn't know that I was investing back in the business. I didn't know what business was. I was just doing everything with head knowledge. So from the money I made, I would go back again, buy. It was like airtime. They'll give you a code, you enter it in the computer, and then you start browsing. So I would browse the internet and get materials on how to do nails, how to make nails last longer. I started knowing new things. I felt empowered. I felt enlightened. It helped me even with customer service and all of that. I just kept reading and reading, and because it was something I loved to do. It was not difficult. It wasn't burdensome. It wasn't like I was stressing. I liked it even more than my schoolwork. But I found a balance. When it was time for me to read, I had made enough money to the point that I could actually rent an apartment off campus. So when it was time for me to do my continuous assessment test or exams, I would disappear from the hostel, go to my apartment off campus, lock myself and read like mad. So I had no issues balancing. Anyway, back to what we were saying. The lions in the streets were a lot. But people are going out, right? People go out. But why are you not going out? Why are you seeing the lions? I need you to reflect on that. Other people are going out, but you are seeing the lions in the street. I had 0 naira, nothing to fall back on. Only the sheer determination of making sure I got clients. And don't forget, as they were pulling down my adverts, I was putting it back up. As they were pulling it down, I was putting it back. Meaning you are going to face oppositions. But you're not going to say, I pasted this and they took it off. Who did this? Oh God, don't want me to do my business. And it's not for rich people. It's not for... You have to be tough. You need to have a tough skin. Anyway, I had no choice because, what was I going to eat? I had spent everything on this new business that I knew nothing about. So I had no choice. Anyway, The point of the story is for you to start with what you can afford. The beautiful thing is when I started doing these nails in the hostel, and I was the only person who was offering this service, so everybody came to me. The moment they knew, everybody started coming to me. Even students from neighboring hostels off campus. Because don't forget, I had been reading and getting material, so I knew what most of nail techs, local nail techs in the markets, the uneducated ones, this is not insulting anyone or anything, but people who just did nails the crude way without getting information. I started knowing things they didn't know. I started discovering companies abroad that they didn't know about. So I started knowing a lot of things, how to do things differently that they didn't know because they didn't probably do research. So I armed with this information and I started doing things that were not very common. So students will go everywhere now. Ah, who did these nails for you? I really like this. Oh, it's some lady in fact they even gave me a name. Is this person in our hostel? And they will come from neighboring hostels into campus to come and look for me. And where was I doing the nails? Under the staircase with a chair and a table. That's all. People will sit down waiting for me. Just the same way I saw the crippled lady, same way people will sit down waiting for me to do their nails. So start with what you can afford. One of my schoolmates came in and said, ah, you are doing these nails. You're really trying. No, she brought this pack of imported nails. I don't know. She said her aunt that traveled or something brought it and gave it to her. She said she does not know what to do with it, so she gave it to me. Her name is Cindy. Shout out to you, Cindy, if you ever come across this video. Cindy gave me this pack of imported nails, and that actually changed my nail game completely. If I had not started, that provision will not come. That's why I was saying that the moment you put your thoughts towards something, somehow it will open up to you and provision will start coming somehow. It will start coming because that's where your mind is. You've channeled all your effort, your energy, and your thoughts towards it. It will start coming. So she gave me this beautiful, and I used it to make a lot more money. So yeah, provision will come. Like I was saying, write down those lions in the streets. And you are going to tell yourself every time you look at those lions and say, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. And the more you look at those things and you tell them that I now have this, I now have this, I now have this, make sure that you see it as you say it, and something will shift on the inside of you. It will shift. If you've given up to the point where you don't even want to try this, then that's a different thing entirely. But if you are willing to try this, something will shift on the inside of you. The way you see those things will begin to change. But you must make moves and you must make an effort, not just that you do that and then you go and sleep. You must start getting education, start informing your mind. The more you inform your mind, the more you see things clearly. The more you are able to see it, then it will materialize in your physical space. Okay? Yes, so start with what you can afford. And that was exactly what I did. Some of you have phones in your hands right now that can pay a whole year's rent. Why don't you sell that phone? Get a cheaper one that can still do social media and use that money to invest in maybe training, which is even better. Get training, use that money to pay for your training and start something. And then you need to start practicing with friends and family. Everybody likes free things. Once you tell your friends, come, I want to do free nails for you, they'll come. Practice with them, use them as your guinea pig. I mean, male or female, practice with anybody. Anybody that has hands and feet, practice with them. Church members, friends, neighbors, come do your nails. I'm practicing something new. I learned something new. You get? Start with what you can afford. Practice with your friends and family. And another thing you can do is if you have clothes, you have furniture that you're not using, see, there's always something You always have this, you must have something. Go through your stuff. Things that you feel that, oh, I don't use these things. Clothes you've not worn that are still looking new. Polish them off, iron them, sell them as thrifts. You can sell them off as thrifts. You can volunteer somewhere, make small money, sell them off, sell things that you're not using anymore, sell them off. Use that money to start something. If you cannot even pay for a training, you can buy some of the things you see on YouTube and start practicing. Once you've done it the first time, you make mistakes. Second time, you make mistakes. Third time, you make mistakes. Fourth time, you're getting better. Fifth time, you're getting better. By the time you've done it like 20 times, you won't be the same person that started the first time anymore. You won't be the same person. So, when your hands are now strong, you can now decide to take a soft loan. Friends and family. You can use that to get training. After you practice with your friends and family and you're watching, you can start with YouTube. There's nothing you cannot learn on YouTube. You can start, because I watched lots of YouTube tutorials. You can start with that and then get training. Of course, what you can afford. Always start with what you can afford. Then when you see that people are giving you compliments on what you've done and it doesn't look bad, right? Attach yourself to a salon and start taking real life clients. It's going to be very difficult because these are people that are now paying for the service, so they expect nothing but the best. This will make you sit up. This will make you give nothing less than perfection. It will help you. So when you now start taking real life clients, some will commend you, some will show you mercy if you make a mistake, some will insult you. It will help you. Yes, all those insults help. Maybe in one of the videos I'll tell you some of the insults I've received doing those. So that will help you develop thick skin. You will meet different kinds of people. It will teach you how to deal with different clients, how to read people's emotion, how to read the room. You start learning customer service because you're going to have yours. When you have yours, it's going to be harder. You're going to be the accountant, you're going to be the customer service person, you're going to be the marketer, you're going to be everything. So you start learning that gradually from there. And then while you've attached yourself to a salon and you start taking real life clients, start saving from your salary. So what I did back then when I attached myself to one of the best salons in Victoria Island in Lagos was that I would put all my salary. I think I was paid 25,000 at that time. I put all my salary in, and I just I'd joined it's called, we call it Ajo in Nigeria. It's like how do I explain now? It's like a small group of people that bring money together and take turns to collect the bulk every month. So we had 10 of us putting in 25,000 naira. I know that is how much. Do the maths. So I was able to save that money. And what was I living on? I was living on tips from clients. Well, good for me. All my experience in school, my 5 years plus experience in school, had made me, and I was very good with nail arts. So I was good to some extent. And I was able to work with this person. In fact, she was even asking me, asking me, who trained you? I was just self-trained. And I was able to walk. So she also sent me for training on gels, which was something that I only saw on YouTube and I had not had hands-on experience with. So she paid for my training and sent me to train for gels. So I started working and I was saving all my salary. But because of the excellence I put in the work, clients would tip me. Even clients that were known to be very stingy would tip me. So I was eating very minimal food, living on my tips. After a year, from my Ajo money and everything, I was able to buy a second-hand vehicle from pool cars in the bank from someone's connection. So you see what I'm saying? If I hadn't taken this step, none of these things would have opened up themselves to me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If you sit back and keep looking at the lions in the street, then you won't be able to go that far. If you get what I'm trying to say. So save up gradually, but be consistent. No matter how small it is, just save it and make sure it's targeted towards either getting education or buying products. Not just any product, but the basics that you need for nails. Do home service. Do home service if you're not able to get a shop yet, but you must work with somebody to gain experience. Don't just go and start taking clients. You need to work with somebody to gain experience. Now, when you've saved enough, you know you have enough to attach yourself in a booth rent. A booth rent is when you go to an existing business, a beauty business, maybe they make hair, and then you can now collaborate with them and say, oh, I'll pay you X amount monthly to use a tiny space in your hair business to do nails, because people who do hair will do nails. So you can be doing nails with people doing hair. It's called booth rent. It will save you paying money yearly. So you're not buying diesel, you're not paying for electricity, you're not doing any of those overheads. You're just using a space and you're paying them monthly. That's way you get more clients. That way you are leveraging the person's clients also. So by the time you've done that for like a year or two and you've saved, you can now rent a place of your own. See, it may take you a little while, but it is achievable. So don't forget, the good book says in 22 verse 13, the slothful man said, there's a lion outside, he will be slain in the streets. He said, oh, all these bills will kill him. Where is he going to get the money? Da, 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 da. That is a slothful man, and you are not slothful. No, you are not slothful. Remove your eyes from the lions in the streets and go out there. It is achievable. If I could do it, you can do it. All the best. Bye.